Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today I want to share a card that we're going to make using the dies from the Ranunculus Romance stamp set and dies. We're not going to use the stamp set, just the dies. And the dies in that stamp set, I happen to be going through that stamp set and looking at the dies, and I honestly, these particular dies, I had overlooked them. I don't know why I hadn't really looked at them closely, and I said, wow, I really like those. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I'm going to now go through a lot of my bundles and look at the dies a little bit more closely and see what kind of gems that are in there that I may have overlooked. And I would suggest perhaps you may do the same thing as well. You may find some things in there that you have overlooked. So this particular card I made with the In Color Starry Sky and Smoky Slate. Now, while I was at it, I made a few more cards in some other colors, and I'll show them to you right now. This one I made with Old Olive, all the same theme, the exact same card, only in Old Olive. This is the exact same card in Crushed Curry. And then I made one more, and this one I made with Fresh Freesia. So there's nothing better than coming up with a simple card design that you can replicate into multiple cards, same card, different colors, simply put together. And not only is this a simple card, though, what I liked about it is that it's simple to put together, as I've already said, but it's also, I think, appealing enough to someone who's been stamping for a while. Not complicated. It has a couple of layers, which makes it a little bit more interesting. So kind of fun, but definitely, this card is definitely aimed at the more beginner stamper who wants to be able to have something that you can easily put together and replicate into perhaps many colors for many cards. So I'm going to switch the camera and we can get started. So here are the different colors again, and this one is the Fresh Freesia. Here's the one in Crushed Curry. This one is the Old Olive. And this is the one that we're going to do together today in the Starry Sky. So I'm going to put these aside and we can get started. So I'll set this aside too. So the card base is I'll just go over quickly. The card base is Smoky Slate. The standard card size, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to use a piece of basic white, cut it 5 1/4 by 4, just 1/4 of an inch smaller. And then we'll get to the next steps. Hold on, let me so these are going to be the pieces and we'll put them together, but I need to do a little bit of, we'll do some stamping before we actually, because we'll be doing some stamping of the flowers before we actually start putting the whole thing together. And then for the strip of cardstock, for this particular one, I used the pack of In Color, the 2022-2024 In Color 6x6 Designer Series paper. So you get it in all the 5 colors, and in this case I chose the Starry Sky. And then for the other cards, the other 3 cards, these are from the 6x6 Designer Series paper, because we have like 40 other colors besides the In Colors, and each of those colors is broken down into a different color category, like neutrals, regals. Oh God, good thing this isn't a quiz. So this is for the Old Olive, the Crushed Curry, and the Fresh Freesia. This color combo, and I think this is actually rich raspberry, along with the fresh freesia. The paper is called the Regals. But you can pretty much just go into the catalog and look for the 6x6 designer series paper, and you'll see the different color categories, and then you can select whichever one appeals to you. But the ones that I'm using are from the Regals, and then along with the in color. So I cut a strip of 4 by 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere it across the paper. I don't know, just, you know, at the bottom third of the white layer. Let me move this up. Move this card out of the way. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive is your preference. And it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be particularly exact in terms of where you want to put it. I just happen to choose this particular spot. But I did want it up high enough. Hopefully I did. Because I want to put the sentiment there. Now if I did, you know, I think that's enough room down there. But if it wasn't, I would probably put it up there. But that's just where I chose to put the sentiment, and I ended up I'm just putting the sentiment, stamping the sentiment right on the card. I'm not doing a separate sentiment label. I wanted to keep this easy. Okay. All right. And then for the die cut pieces, I've already pre-cut them because you don't need to see me cutting this and taking up valuable video time. Your time is too valuable to watch me cutting this stuff. So I cut one. Actually, let me just show you quickly. I'll show you the dies. Here are the dies. These are all the dies in the ranunculus, you know, the ranunculus romance. I love this stamp set. This is the die right here that I used to cut this from. I cut one in Starry Sky and one in Smoky Slate. So whatever colors you're choosing to do, if you follow the card, you'll do one in whatever color, all right? And like each one of these has a Smoky Slate attached to it. So you would do your color of choice and then a Smoky Slate, because that's going to kind of be in the background. Just to kind of offset it so it's not one-dimensional. I just thought the additional color, but not a pronounced color, would be almost like a shadow. And then a little, this is also in there, this particular die, just as an additional little piece. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just lay it on. Let's see. So I think what I'm going to do, and I'll show you this trick, and you know what? You may have seen this a million times from other people, not sure, but I'll show you anyway, just in case it's new information for you, of how to, oh God, and then of course I dropped the other piece. Oh, here it is right in front of me. How to glue a piece on that, you know, like something that, like for example this, right? How do you could just slop on some glue if you want, but it's such small pieces that sometimes it's easier to dab it with some glue using the silicone craft sheet. And the way to do that is just, and because nothing sticks to this silicone craft sheet, you can just put, after you're using it, you can just run it under water, scrub it with a scrubby, and all the glue comes off. Then you just get these craft sponges, which you can buy at the dollar store, right? Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them anymore. And then you just get, you know, use the binder clips, and you just use it as a little holder. All right, so all I'm going to do is just dab, 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 and then dab it onto the back of your image. That's all. And then we're going to, let me see, how do I have the other one? Let me use it as an example. Okay, So I'm just going to put it on, no big deal. Okay, oops. Gonna do the same thing with the blue one. And I'm going to put the stems together, but I'm gonna obviously offset them a little bit. And then, of course, I should have done this before, but I suppose it doesn't matter. I should have laid this down first. Because I kind of wanted it in the background. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I just lifted it up a little bit. So all I'm going to do is tuck it in the back and have it stick up a little bit. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. Crazy, right? Okay, let me set that aside. And as far as the little flowers are concerned that I had, what I did was under Flowers of Friendship stamp set. We have these little, ooh, let me lift it up here. Little flowers, right? Well, it's all one stamp. Now, I just wanted to be able to stamp one at a time. So you can kind of see what I did was I cut it off. Now, you could just keep it all intact and mask it and just stamp one, but I know I would end up like making a mess. So don't know if it's a cardinal sin that I cut it off, but I decided to cut one off. It's my stamp set, I guess, so I guess I can do what I want, right? All right, so now I'm just going to do some random stamping of the flowers. Yeah, of course, I already got a smudge. You know what's going to go there? What's going to go there is a little gem dot. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I think what I did on that is I stamped off, because it's a bit dark. Ooh, you know what else you could do? I was just thinking, instead of doing the blue, you could also stamp with smoky slate. You know what? That's going to be good enough. I don't want to do too many. Oh, when I just smooched it. All right, well, we're not going to pay attention to that because you're getting the drift of this, right? Well, you're seeing my mistakes, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Now, I'm going to use this little card, Big Thanks sentiment, which is right here in the Flowers of Friendship. Let's see, which one is it? Little card, Big Thanks. Let me get my acrylic block. All right. And I'm going to use smoky slate for the sentiment. Turn it around. There we go. That's nice. And I will use my gem dots. And then we'll do we can do the ribbon. So these are the in color gem dots. Okay, I think maybe I'll do one more. I usually do it in threes, but okay, I'll just do one more down there for no reason. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. Now, this up. Now this is the Old Olive and Sahara Sand Twill Ribbon Combo Pack. So this has Sahara Sand, has 2 spools of ribbon. One is Old Olive and one is Sahara Sand. So technically I could have made the card base on this Sahara Sand, but I kind of like smoky slate, so that's why I did that. All right, and I really only want to take a little strip because I'm not tying the whole ribbon around there. I'm just putting it on the front. Okay. All right, that's as much as I'm gonna cut. And somewhere here I used my figures. I did have my, oh, here they are. I got them over here. My gem, my what do you call it? My glue dots. I want to just put a glue dot inside the piece of ribbon just to kind of hold it in place, because I'm going to be tying a piece of linen thread around it. All right, so I'm going to just fold it over all like that. And now it's kind of going to be held in place. All right, I'm going to put it there. But now I want to just cut just a short length of this linen thread. We have so much twine, and this particular one is linen thread, and I kind of like this one. All right, let's see. Hopefully that's enough. We don't need a lot. This is going to be awkward, but what I'm going to do to help me, because it'll be kind of like another set of fingers, I'm going to put a glue dot, let me see, on the back. And then I'm going to lay the twine across that. Okay. And then, let me move this out of the way. And then I'm going to tie just a little bow. Hopefully I can do this. There we go. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier, because it's just so small. And I feel like I'm all thumbs. I'm almost wondering if I want to just tie it in a knot and leave it at that. Because I'll tell you, tying it into a bow can be so tough. And not everybody is great at it. I can be very good at it depending on what the project is, but when it comes to twine, and like this, we could be here all day. Forget it. So I'm thinking, let's just do this. Let's just make it into something a little bit easier, right? Just an option. Now, if you want to tie yours into a bow, like I did for this one, then you can. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put another glue dot on the back. And adhere it to the card. Okay. And we can now adhere that to the card base. Flip it over. Give it a back rub. Okay. So that front is done. And let's see, let me get my paper trimmer because what I didn't do was cut. Oh, wait, let me see. Do I have? Oh, I do. I did cut another piece. This is for the inside. So when you're cutting 5 1/4 by 4 for your card, you'll want to cut 2 because you're going to need 1 for the inside. So let's see. It says little card, big thanks. Thank you for everything. Let me see. Where's the thank you for everything? Right there. And all right. So somewhere is my block. Wherever it went. I don't know where it went, so I'll dig out my giant block. And you know what? I'm going to use the smoky slate again. I put my sentiments at the top. I know a lot of cards are sold with the sentiment in the middle, but I put mine at the top, and that way you have a lot of room to write your whatever message you want to write underneath it. And let's see. I think what I would also like to do is put a flower in that corner. And I think I'm going to do it also in smoky slate. And you know what? I think I'm going to put a second flower. There we go. Okay. Let me close that up. And we can now adhere this to the inside. Almost done. Thank you for sticking with me. I so appreciate you. You could have your pick of any other demonstrator out there to watch what they're doing. I appreciate that you're watching my video. Wow, okay, that's it. That's the card. And like I said, you can make it with any color that you want. I'll bring in the other ones again. The crushed curry. This one is the fresh freesia, although this is rich raspberry paper. So nice. And Old Olive, which I'm a big fan of Old Olive. I use Old Olive for so much stuff. And for the sequins, these sequins right here are from the, just so you know, Adhesive Back Sequins and Gems. They're, let me see, does it say what colors they are? No, of course not. But they matched, so that's what I used. Now, I will tell you, full disclosure, for the gem dots that I used for these two cards, I used the retired holiday rhinestones because I didn't have any that matched these two cards. And I said, you know what? I have the holiday rhinestones. I'm going to go ahead and use them. I mean, what's the point in having them if I can't use them? So feel free to use your retired stuff if you have it. I'm using it, and there's no reason why not. So I wanted you to see what you can make easy, and you can replicate it in multiple different colors. So I want to thank you for watching. If you liked this video and you wanted to see more of it, click the like button below, and you could subscribe to my channel, and you will get notified as I upload more videos. I do have more videos that I have planned. So keep watching, and I appreciate that you tuned in, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye for now.